Hey guys, it's Movie Buff Beth, and I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys a Vinegar Syndrome haul. Recently they had a Valentine's Day sale and I picked some stuff up from that. And then I also got my monthly package from them. As you guys may know, I am a yearly subscriber to Vinegar Syndrome, so you get a package full of awesomeness every month from them. So excited to share with you guys what I've picked up lately. So first things first, I'll show you what I picked up in the Valentine's Day sale. These would have been here a little bit sooner, but I decided to just get them shipped with my monthly package, which is an awesome way to do it because everything comes together and it's really well protected and well packaged, so it's pretty much the way to do it. First thing, this was actually included in my yearly package because I am a completionist subscriber, but this was part of their Valentine's Day sale lineup, and that is Sex World. This is the first adult film to be put out on 4K, which is pretty crazy that we have reached this point in physical media, but pretty awesome nonetheless. I do own this film on Blu-ray. It's a really fun film, so not surprised at all that this is the one that they went with for their first 4K release. But yeah, adding a adult film on 4K, did not think I would ever get to that point. And it does come in a standard clear case. They did say they had kind of a manufacturing issue with the 4K cases, the black 4K cases, so later on I'll be able to add the black case to this release. I will apologize in advance if you hear bells ringing and running and meowing. I'm sitting out in the main living area, of course, so the cats are all around, so I'll just apologize for that in advance. The next up, I got Babyface II. I own the first one, so I decided to grab this one. I'm getting very close to owning almost all of the Blu-ray releases from Vinegar Syndrome. I have almost all of them. And then several of these adult titles were some of the last ones that I needed. I think beyond some adult titles, the only ones I'm missing are just some really rare, out of print, extremely hard to find titles. So we'll see if I ever find them, but definitely filled in some gaps with this Valentine's Day sale. And then we have Trashy Lady, starring Ginger Lynn, China and Silk. Again, a bunch of these have been on my list forever, just filling in the gaps to complete the Vinegar Syndrome collection. And honestly, when I started collecting Vinegar Syndrome, that was not my goal at all, to be a completionist of them, but I don't know, I've just really fallen in love with their titles. They have a lot of really interesting stuff that otherwise you would never ever see or get your hands on, so gotta love Vinegar Syndrome for that reason. And this one I have seen before, obviously one of their better known adult titles, but I have not watched it on Blu-ray, and that is Taboo. Again, one of their best known adult titles. And of course it stars Kay Parker, a really famous adult film star. And then since I grabbed that, I decided to go ahead and grab the sequels. I don't know if these are anywhere near the quality of the first one, but we will see. We got Taboo 2 and Taboo 3. And then we also got Taboo 4. So those are all of the Blu-rays that I picked up from the Valentine's sale, but I also did grab some DVDs. These ones hadn't really been on my radar, but prior to the Valentine's Day sale, Brad Henderson, one of the guys behind Vinegar Syndrome, posted on Twitter some recommendations of what to pick up from the sale, and he definitely put some titles on my radar, so I picked these ones up solely based on his recommendations, actually, so really excited about that. First one is called Marilyn and the Senator. And then I'm going to be delving into the filmography of Wakefield Poole, and the first one I picked up is Bijou, I believe is how you say it. This one comes pretty highly recommended every time they have one of their Valentine's Day adult sales, so looking forward to this one. And then another one that Brad recommended is Boys in the Sand, another Wakefield Poole film. And the last thing I picked up from the Valentine's Day sale is Both Ways. So always fun to grab these adult titles for the collection. I didn't think I would ever collect adult films from Vinegar Syndrome, but they roped me in when they started putting slipcovers on them and then making them limited, and you know, that collector state of mind makes you want to pick things up that you otherwise had no interest in. But it turns out they're actually really fun, cool slice of 70s and 80s cinema. Something that otherwise I would have never dipped my feet in, but Vinegar Syndrome opened my eyes to that world, so excited to add those to the collection and again to fill in some gaps. Before I get into the monthly package, I also picked up a couple DVD releases. I'm trying to go back and find some stuff that sounds interesting to me. that was only released on DVD. I have a handful of DVDs from Vinegar Syndrome, but not too many. And they have a bunch of these drive-in collection double features. So I decided to just throw a couple of these in my cart. They were really cheap, like $10, $11, $12, just to add on to my monthly package. And the first one I got, again, this is one of those drive-in collection double features. This has Anatomy of a Psycho and The Lonely Sex. So these are both really early exploitation films. Don't know too much about these, but again, just trying to build up that collection a little bit. And I really do like exploitation films. It says these are two early exploitation gems which prove that even before the golden age of the grindhouse, cinematic sleaze could still pack a nasty wallop. Anatomy of a Psycho came out in 1960, so yeah, a really early one. And both of these films are actually in black and white, which is really interesting. Anatomy of a Psycho says, in this early exploitation classic, the brother of a convicted murderer set to be executed takes revenge against the people he believes were responsible for his brother's demise. Yeah, directed by Boris Petrov, 80 minutes long, again in black and white, really interesting. And then The Lonely Sex came out in 1959. In an odd blending of psychodrama, thriller, and light sexploitation, a lonely outcast kidnaps a young woman and holds her hostage in a rural shack while a peeping Tom goes about his daily routine. And that one's directed by Richard Hillard. Only 57 minutes, so a pretty short one, black and white as well. And these are both scanned in 2K from 35mm theatrical prints, so they should look decent. Again, really delving deep into the Vinegar Syndrome filmography. As you can see behind me, I own so many of their titles, so just trying to find some of the more obscure stuff to add to my monthly grabs. So yeah, got that one. And then the other one I grabbed, these are a couple of sexploitation films, another one of the drive-in collection double features, and this one has Judy and The Night Hustlers. So similar to the other one, two films that they restored, very early ones from the 60s, two regional sexploitation rarities that showcase the seedier side of the USA. Judy's from 1969. It says, a sex killer is on the loose, terrorizing working girls in Boston's seedy combat zone. Will a rogue ex-detective solve the mystery before more buxom beauties meet an unfortunate demise? This one's directed by David W. Hansen, 75 minutes in color. And then The Night Hustlers, also a short one, from 1968. In this Florida lens sexploitation oddity, a group of vice cops trade stories of their sleazy, sex-filled busts. Directed by Bobby O'Donnell, 57 minutes in color. And both titles are scanned in 2K. However, Judy is scanned from the 16mm 8B rolls. Actually, not even sure what that means. And The Night Hustlers was scanned in 2K from the 35mm blow-up negative. Yeah, so yeah, another double feature to add to the collection. Alright, so now we're going to dive into the new monthly releases from Vinegar Syndrome and their partner labels. The first one is from Fun City Editions, who put out Alphabet City a few months ago. One that I still really need to check out because I've heard some really good things about it and it looks right up my alley. And honestly, same with this one, and this one is called Jeremy. This one was supposed to come out a month ago or so, I believe, and they pushed it back a month, but it was fine. If you are a completionist subscriber or even just a horror exploitation subscriber, you do get 50% off MSRP on all of their partner label titles. That's actually a new thing that they did this year, which I think is really awesome because I really enjoyed collecting these as well, because similar to Vinegar Syndrome, it has opened my eyes to a lot of stuff that I would have otherwise never heard of. And Jeremy, again, looks like a really interesting one, and it has a beautiful slipcover on it. These slipcovers are my weakness. I will buy something that I have like zero interest in because it comes with one of these slipcovers because they're just so cool. Yeah, it definitely brings out the collector weaknesses in me, these slipcovers. But yeah, there's Jeremy. Go ahead and show the back as well. They just do some really wonderful work with these slipcovers. And then it's the same art on the inside here. Of course, the slipcover is limited. I'm going to show you the back as well. It says this is a film that has nothing going for it but the people who love it. I would read what it's about, but it's pretty long. But this is a new 2K restoration from its 35mm color reversal internegative. Fun City Editions is doing some really nice work with these, so it was an easy purchase for me, honestly. This came out in 1973. It's 90 minutes long. I'll definitely have to give this one a watch and let you guys know what I think of it soon, but it looks really interesting. And from their partner label Utopia, we have Minor Premise. This one I know next to nothing about, so I apologize for that, but has, again, a really nice looking slipcover. And then we do have the same art on the inside. And this one is actually a 2020 film, which is really cool. New film. I love independent film, so definitely excited to check this out. Yeah, it's from 2020, 95 minutes long. But yeah, as always, has a beautiful slipcover and overall just a really nice looking release. And our favorite part, the Vinegar Syndrome releases themselves. First one is directed by Umberto Lenzi, a director that I really like, so this one definitely looking forward to watching, and it's called Hitcher in the Dark. Another beautiful slipcover. I know I've said that a million times, but these slips are just so nice. The nice gloss they have on the sunglasses, they're really cool. Obviously really nice and embossed. And yeah, I really like Umberto Lenzi, so this one definitely intrigues me. Never heard of it before, but that's usually the case with these Vinegar Syndrome films and a lot of these older releases. I'd show you the back, but there's some nudity on that one. This one came out in 1989. It's 95 minutes long, newly scanned and restored in 4K from its 35mm original camera negative. Awesome. Young and handsome Mark Glazer roams around the southeastern United States in his decked out camper, picking up single female hitchhikers. Once he has the unsuspecting travelers trapped inside his RV, Mark savagely assaults and then murders them by slashing their throats, taking photos of the grisly aftermath to add into his macabre collection. But everything changes when he happens to meet Daniela, a spitting image for his deceased mother, who soon becomes the victim of his most savage torments. Oh, he had to go and meet the woman that looked like his mother. That changes everything. There's the inner art. Again, really looking forward to this one, and that premise sounds really awesome, so definitely going to give this one a watch soon. And I will be doing a Vinegar Syndrome collection video very soon. I'm trying to really buckle down and watch a lot of Vinegar Syndromes before I do the video, because I want to have a lot to say about the movies, but I will be watching a bunch of Vinegar Syndromes over the next coming months. So watch my Everything I Watched In series of videos to see my quick thoughts on them. If I do watch a bunch of Vinegar Syndromes and have a lot to say about them, I may do like a separate review video. If that's something you guys would be interested in, let me know, and I can prioritize that. But yeah, Hitcher in the Dark looks awesome. And as always, if you guys have seen any of these movies and have some thoughts to share on them, I'd love to hear it. This next movie, interestingly enough, I had not too long ago picked this one up on VHS because it just looked so fun. It looked right up my alley, and the VHS had really cool cover art and it really intrigued me. So I'll show you the VHS that I picked up. It's this movie called The Fear. I had never heard of it before, but again, just a few months ago I bought this on VHS tape, and I probably showed it in the haul video when we bought it, but it looked really interesting. And then not even a few months later, Vinegar Syndrome announces they're releasing it. So what are the odds of that? So of course, the next title I have to show you is The Fear, another beautiful slipcover. They even outdid this really intriguing VHS art that they had. Yeah, it's really nice looking slip there. There's the back. Go ahead and slide out the other artwork here, and this looks pretty similar to the VHS tape actually, this artwork. This film is from 1995. I know not as many people like 90s horror, but I actually have kind of a soft spot for it. I think there's some really fun stuff that came out in the 90s, and 90s horror just has like its own feel to it. Just it's very different than the 80s horror. Just has a whole new feel and style to it that I like a lot. This one is directed by Vincent Robert. It's 102 minutes long. This is newly scanned and restored in 4K, of course. Awesome. From its 35mm original camera negative. I mean, you gotta love Vinegar Syndrome for taking random movies like this from 1995 and just scanning them in 4K. I mean, how awesome is that? Richard is a college student who has decided to focus his attention on the study of fear and has invited a group of friends up to his family's secluded mountain cabin for the weekend. Never do that, guys. You don't go to the secluded mountain cabin. First mistake. During which they've agreed to participate in his project and share what terrifies them. While the experiment seems harmless at first, when it comes time for Richard to reveal what he's afraid of, the answer comes in the form of a strange, lifelike wooden carving of a man who has been in the cabin for generations and is named Morty. As the friends attempt to enjoy their wilderness seclusion, Morty comes to life and begins stalking and killing the youngsters in ways that go far beyond their most horrific nightmares. It also says this is one of the quintessential mid-90s indie horror films, which, yeah, definitely sounds awesome. Plus a rare acting role from legendary horror filmmaker Wes Craven. How awesome is that? Taking full advantage of its scenic locales, the fear ramps up its body count, leading to a tense and bloody climax, and is headed to Blu-ray fully uncut and uncensored in a new 4K restoration of its 35mm camera negative. Yeah, the fear looks awesome. It could be terrible. A lot of these Vinegar Syndromes sound awesome and then they're just kind of okay movies, but honestly, I just have a heck of a lot of fun with these releases, and this one sounds like it'll be no exception. Definitely looking forward to watching The Fear. Sitting down and talking about these titles is getting me really excited about them, so I definitely need to do this more often with some of my more boutique pickups. And I do think you guys enjoy these videos. Let me know if you would rather I just throw these in the regular haul videos, but I like spending a little extra time with some of these labels that I just really admire and enjoy their releases. So the next release is a really awesome one. It is the third volume in the Forgotten Gialli sets. These are really cool sets. I will admit I have not sat down and spent any time with them, but they are really cool. They look great on the shelf back there, and this one has some beautiful artwork. So there's the front there. At the side. Oh, sorry, I just have to make sure there's no nudity here. The back. Hopefully I didn't miss any nudity in some of these artworks. But yeah, these are really, really nice box sets. Hard cases. They look fantastic on the shelf. I really love Giallo films, so I don't know why I haven't really sat down and spent time with these. But, I mean, look, there's even art on like the space between the two pieces of the box. Really cool. You can tell they just spend a lot of time and effort making these look nice. So of course I will show you what movies are inside. I've not heard of any of these because they are Forgotten Gialli. I mean, I barely even know some of the better known Giallo films, honestly. But this first one is called Murder Mansion. This one came out in 1972. It's 86 minutes long, newly scanned and restored in 4K from its 35mm original negative. This one says, on a dark and foggy night in the countryside, a group of apparent strangers all find themselves stranded at an old Gothic mansion. Deciding to spend the night and look for help the following morning. Again, first mistake. You don't spend the night at the creepy Gothic mansion. The group pair off for bed. As the night wears on, increasingly strange events begin to occur, culminating in a murder. Tensions and suspicions rise, and fear mounts that the ghosts of the mansion have risen from the grave, especially when more bodies turn up. But is the explanation behind these ghastly events truly supernatural? It sounds really cool. Murder Mansion. Love finding more Giallo films. And then the next one we have is Crazy Desires of a Murderer. I love some of these old Giallo titles. They're so on point. This one came out in 1977. It's 89 minutes long. Newly scanned and restored in 4K from its 35mm original negative. The Countess Elena has just returned to her family's grand old castle where her paralyzed father, an apparent clairvoyant, and strange younger brother with an unhealthy interest in taxidermy reside. Almost immediately after arriving, one of Alana's friends who's visiting the castle is shockingly murdered and has her eyes plucked out of their sockets. While suspicion falls on Alana's brother, a curious police inspector begins to investigate, believing there to be more to the murders than meets the eye. However, his sleuthing proves no match for this maniac as the body count steadily rises. So yeah, Crazy Desires of a Murderer, another one that sounds really cool. Maybe one of these days I will sit down and watch all of these Forgotten Gialli films and kind of do a video on that. And that would probably be fun to sit down and just have a Giallo marathon. And the next one is called Autopsy. There's actually a few films called Autopsy. I don't think this is one that I've heard of though. This one's from 1975, 100 minutes long, again, newly scanned and restored. This one's only in 2K though, from its 35mm original negative. A wave of sudden violent suicides have gripped Rome and are being blamed on sunspots. Simona, a young pathologist with an unhealthy obsession with death, has become increasingly interested in this strange phenomenon. But with the discovery of the body of a young woman, an apparent victim of a self-inflicted gunshot, Simona finds herself thrust into a terrifying mystery and conspiracy to cloak actual murders as suicides. And the nearer she comes to unraveling the truth, the more in danger she is to entering the sights of a deranged killer who might be a lot closer to home than she realizes. So yeah, Autopsy, that sounds really cool as well. Honestly, not sure where I'm going to start with this Giallo box set. But yeah, Vinegar Syndrome has not disappointed me yet with one of these box sets. They have done an awesome job with just the artwork and the overall presentation. I know I haven't watched any of these movies yet, but I'm definitely going to have to sit down and spend some time with these, like I said, because that would be a lot of fun. But yeah, that's everything that I got from Vinegar Syndrome this last month. Lots of awesome titles added to the adult erotica section, which is awesome. But yeah, lots of good stuff. Really excited about these. Again, I will be trying to watch a lot more Vinegar Syndrome in the coming months because I like to do a Vinegar Syndrome collection video and showcase all of those. But I feel like I need to see more of them just so that there's a bit more substance to them. But nothing wrong with sitting down and watching a bunch of Vinegar Syndrome films because I think that would be a lot of fun. I'll be having some time off work coming up in about a week, so I'll probably pencil in some Vinegar Syndrome marathons. But hopefully you guys are looking forward to that collection video at some point because I'm really excited to share that with you guys. Did you guys pick up anything from Vinegar Syndrome this month? Have you watched any of the new releases? If so, let me know what you think of them. Let me know which one I should check out first. I'm leaning towards Hitcher in the Dark. That one sounds really cool, but also really excited to check out the Fear and again those Giallo films. So lots of good stuff to dive into. We thank you guys for your support as always. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. We talk all things movies and physical media on Movie Buff Pains. I love horror films. I have tons of boutique labels that I want to share with you guys. Andrew loves animation and he's got just a wealth of knowledge and expertise in the animated genre to share with you guys. So if that sounds like that would be interesting to you, make sure that you subscribe. And we've been uploading lots of content lately, so hit the bell to get notifications when we upload new videos and give this video a thumbs up. Again, we truly appreciate your support. We appreciate you guys watching our videos. We just are having tons of fun doing YouTube and getting to interact with you guys and talk movies. I mean, you can't do much better than that. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.